And without this place, our film definitely wouldn't be about Dagestan. It's not the easiest to access, but it's considered one of the most famous symbols of the Republic. So, to start, we all load up into the UAZ.
You just wave your hand as you are. I'm about to leave with you, but they just say that it's really tough, so I almost turned back.
The journey to the top will be about 4.5 kilometers, approximately half of which can be traveled by car. But we decided not to take any risks and to use the services of the local transfer for a purely symbolic fee. In short, the little UAZ couldn't handle it, but that's okay. Another car is supposed to pick us up now. As always, with adventures. They took us to a stopping point. Here, all the cars have already stopped. They don't go any further. There are several options. You can go on foot or on horseback. There are about 2.5 kilometers left to the summit. It doesn't seem like much, but the path goes uphill the whole time, and under the scorching summer sun, the trek becomes quite challenging. Well, yes, the road is indeed difficult. You have to walk uphill over the stones, but the small forest and the breeze provide relief. Therefore, it feels quite refreshing here. The main thing is to take breaks for a smoke. And in the end, your efforts will be rewarded when they appear on the horizon. The ruins of the ancient city. Well then, welcome to the ghost village of Gamsutl. So Gamsutl. It is one of the oldest settlements in Dagestan. The exact time of its formation is not definitively known. But according to scientists, the Aul was founded by the Avar Khans around 2,000 years ago. Its remote location at an altitude of 1,500 meters made Gamsutl practically an impregnable fortress. Throughout its existence, it has never been conquered by any of the invaders. But ultimately, it was this very inaccessibility of the village that led to its complete desolation. Now, everywhere in Russia, and not only there, people are moving to cities, seeking comfort and civilization, and abandoning such remote mountain villages. But what is most surprising in Gamsutl is its architecture. Constructed from local sandstone, the village features a dense terrace type of architecture. From the outside, it appears as if the houses are growing directly out of the mountain massif. This is the mountain architecture of Dagestan, where the roof of the lower house literally serves as the floor for the upper one. Indeed, in our days, only the skeletons of partially destroyed buildings remind us of the former grandeur of Gamsutl. However, even from these ruins, one can easily imagine what the city once looked like. Narrow cobblestone streets with skillfully crafted arches, vaulted windows, and massive wooden doors of the houses. And these are the famous gates of Gamsutl. Everyone takes photos here for Instagram and makes videos too. Look here, because, well, open it, in the other direction, and there you go. Here and there, one can still find ancient inscriptions, Arabic calligraphy, Christian crosses, and even the Star of David, as a reminder that throughout its history, Gamsutl has witnessed several different eras and religions. Unfortunately, over the years, all of this has become merely echoes of a distant past. The streets of the village have completely emptied, and it is slowly deteriorating, becoming overgrown with forest. Just not long ago, Gamsutl was densely populated and had a well-developed infrastructure. There were shops, a post office, even a mosque and a hospital, and one could drive directly to the village. However, in the middle of the last century, the residents gradually began to leave Gamsutl. Can you imagine there was only one resident left here? until 2015. The last one. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2015. And can you imagine, he lived here without electricity? And he would only go down this entire road that we walked to get groceries. Can you imagine? At his respectable age, he would overcome it, gather supplies for himself, and return back here. He was gifted a generator and would turn it on to listen to the radio. In general, that's quite an interesting story. This is about Abdul Jalilov, the last resident of the village of Gamsutl, who lived here in complete solitude for many years until the day of his death. When visiting the village, tourists usually also stop by his house. I can't imagine how he lived here alone. It's just terrifying. Lying down on this bed, looking at this ceiling all alone, with no one to talk to, all by myself. It is said, by the way, that he loved guests, was very sociable, and told interesting stories. He was indeed also a very kind and extremely well-read person. This is how people remembered him. For us personally, Gamsutl turned out to be the most atmospheric place of the entire journey. Everything about it seems to transport you far back in time. Here, the atmosphere of ancient, authentic Dagestan is frozen in time, along with a certain astonishing beauty, the tragic beauty of a fading era. I really enjoyed it and was immersed in this atmosphere. Besides that, it is of course beautiful here. The view of the mountains is simply a 100 out of 10. So, Gamsutl rightfully ranks among the top most interesting places in Dagestan. Guys, this is definitely worth seeing and visiting in Dagestan. Come to Gamsutl.